Good evening, brokers. This is John from Level Zero Games. I'm here to give a quick introduction to the latest build and also to the game in general. So the first place to check out would be the help menu and options. It's still very rough right now, but it gives you a brief overview of some different aspects of the game. It should help you get a bit more of a ground to work from. The primary objective of the game is to investigate your rival corporations, uncover intel on their assets and operations, and either destroy them or steal them to grow your own corporation. So currently we're working for the Ecology Corporation. You'll see these two numbers here. This is the corporation's collective power, which is drawn out of their companies. And then this is how much power they're gaining every week. So right now this corporation has a research company, materials company, and a media company. So you can see within each company they have infrastructure, which is how many assets they can hold, but that costs money. And they also have various assets that they've developed. And each time the corporation collects income, it pulls it out of these assets, which degrade over time. And the company will actually develop new assets, and over time they'll increase the value until it maxes out, and then it'll start to draw that value back out as profit. You don't actually need to use this menu though. The corporations themselves and the companies themselves generate their own assets. So your main goal is to focus on obtaining assets from other companies and protecting your corporation and undermining your competitors. There's a rough budget screen which shows the introduction to the new department budget compared to the corporation budget. So the corporations collect profits from the companies and actually pay a portion of those profits out to the department in the form of a budget. Now this budget is used to pay for your salaries. So right now we have 37 in paid salaries and a total budget of 117. So we can afford to hire a few more operatives. Whatever we don't spend is added to our fund, which is used to pay for initial hiring fees and for scouting costs. So let's right now our companies research, materials, and media. So those are the industries we really want to compete in. We can still steal assets from other industries, but those are mainly used for liquidating off. Eventually, the corporations will be able to recognize those stored assets and acquire new companies to use those assets. So your way of being able to shape the corporation is if you acquire a bunch of PMCs and security systems, then the corporation will start to build military companies to use those assets. So normally if you're playing this game, you want to, for example, investigate O'Brien Businesses, which also has a media and a research industry company. So if you investigate them, then it's a chance we could use that intel to uncover some assets in either one of these companies. We started the game with some intel, and right now the intel is just used through this menu, which will show us a listing of each set of intel we actually have. So we have intel on this corporation and this one and this one, and we have over 40. We can use that to uncover an asset. It's all just kind of hard-coded right now, but this will be an evolving system. So we uncover assets, then we have intel on these, which means we can actually engage with these assets to steal them or destroy them. So you might actually want to steal this store here. So let's go to plan a mission. When you plan a mission, you'll see a list of corporations which you can investigate. Now this number here is the intel you currently have on them. So for example, you might want to investigate Horus International and get enough intel to be able to uncover one of their assets. Then we have the targets, which are the assets we've already uncovered. So you select this, then we get a list of mission types. We can investigate to get more intel on the asset, which currently is useless. We can steal the target, or we can destroy it. So let's steal this one. Now it generates a list of objectives. These are all the objectives you need to actually complete this mission. So these grayed out ones don't have any challenge. You brief at home, then you move to the location. But once you're actually there, we need to gain access to Northern Robotics, which is the company holding this asset. So in order to actually get into this company, we need to get access to it by completing these 3 plots. Then once there, we can steal the store asset. Now, these tags indicate what kind of plots we can expect. So this requires a talking plot, which is going to be kind of hard for us to do, because we don't have a con man. So now if we add these people to the team, you'll see these color code based on their abilities to complete the task. And same thing with the challenges listed. So there's a decent chance we can complete these. So red means that they'll fail outright. There's no way they can complete this unless they use gear. Yellow means that there's a chance they could complete it naturally, but also a chance they might fail or need to use gear. And if it's green, then that means their minimum chance is over the challenge rating. But let's head over to main menu and hire someone to do our talking for us. There's a marketplace of operatives that we can look through. Some of these might be suitable, like this suit. Has a few charm skills, but he's not as skilled as some others. We have a negotiator, which would be perfect. So he's very skilled in charm and some in authority as well. So actually, we're going to grab this guy up, hire Jill. Now, if we can't find the person we want, we can go to Manage Circles. And this will show us a list of different profiles we can hire from. So if we really wanted to get a new spy, then we can scout. And this 20 power fee comes out of our funds, like so. And that's just to uncover them. We still have to actually pay their hiring fee, which is a salary, and then actually pay their salary each week. So this looks like a pretty good spy. It's got some decent stealth skills here. So we're actually going to hire this operative, and you'll see it deducts from our funds for the hiring fee, and also their salaries added to our budget, like so. Now also these operatives, you can give them orders, such as firing them, or you can give them code names that you like such, and that'll change their name displayed. Or if you want, you can revert them back to by entering nothing, and I'll revert them back to the original name. All right. So now that we have our face, let's go back to our mission. And if you look at these plots, we see we still don't have much of a chance. Let me change our team members, and let's add a negotiator. All right, that didn't change much, actually. Unfortunately, the negotiator doesn't seem to be... this is actually... this rough-up proposal requires lots of bludgeoning, so we don't actually have a thug to take this on for us. But these other ones, there's actually a pretty good chance with this, although he's lacking these skills. This one's actually looking pretty good. There's only 1 rating there, and he's got a very good chance. Same thing here. So this is actually probably our best option, so let's go with this. Now if you want, we can cancel this proposal again, and we can actually assign specific people to these tasks. So if you think you know better or want to use certain operatives for certain things, you can specify them out. But that looks good for now. Each of these proposals, we can either choose one for each set, or if we leave them blank, then the team will find the best option amongst them and try to go with that. It's the same thing with assignments. If you don't assign someone to the task, then they'll just choose whoever they think is best for it. So now that we've clarified the important primary objective, we're going to trust the rest of them and say finish mission, and authorize the mission to actually set it up. Now within the mission, when we're ready to start it off, these operatives can still be hired off if you want to use them in different missions, but we want to do this one, so let's begin it. And then the team will start progressing through the objectives towards their goal. All right. Now if they fail the challenge, there's a chance they'll recover it, which will be reduced by this rating. But if they don't get that recovery chance, then they have to escape. So right now they failed to collect information, so they're trying to use a cover identity, which luckily Jill has a pretty good chance of taking care of that. So when you come back in here, you see the rating's reduced by 2, which is the previous success. So this is a way of, if you hit a hard wall of something you can't do, then as long as your team can recover from it, they'll still be able to eventually break through. But of course, the risk is that every time you come back to try to do this escape, your team might screw up and you might get set back. Yeah, no, they're doing pretty well though, pushing through. They screw up every now and then, but Jill manages to save the day with using a nice set of cover IDs. And see, we failed that objective, but then we recovered it right afterwards. And that's done. So we grabbed the objective, it's been captured, and we move through to bring it on home. Now, if you had failed one of these escape conflicts, then it would have fallen to or if it failed one of these escapes, it would have fallen through to a conflict. Those are where the two teams square off, and they have to battle each other with their various skills. If one team gets wiped out, then if it's a non-fatal conflict, then it'll fall through to a fatal conflict, such as a shootout or an ambush. At which case, the team either has to kill the other team or get annihilated themselves, which of course fails the mission. But this time we've made it through without any mistakes. Mission complete, and we've stolen our store asset. And that concludes a basic introduction to the game. Of course, we have alerts for when our team was exposed, but we didn't fall through to a conflict, so you don't have to worry about that. Just clear those. And yeah, we'll be continuing to build the game up over the next year to 2 years. And our next tasks are working on operations, which are sustained missions. So instead of these one-shots, they'll go out and set up to collect intel and feed a constant stream of intel back home. Then we also have more independent teams. So we have like all these operatives will actually be sorted into teams. So you can set up, your team that you use for stealing things, your team you use for fights or whatever else. And then we have live intel, which is the intel you collect. Currently, this intel doesn't update. So this asset might not actually be there anymore. Another corporation may have stolen it away. But with live intel, you always know what the situation of the asset is. But the downside is that over time, the intel you have collected on it will degrade. And if the asset moves or is manipulated in some way, it degrades even faster. So if you have intel on a target and then someone else comes and steal it, you'll actually be able to see the team that's stealing it, and you can follow them as long as you still have intel to follow those leads. So then it becomes kind of a game of, can you get to those operatives and take them out and claim your asset before your intel runs out. Yeah, so that's what we're working on for the next build. Can't wait to get out to you guys, and I hope you enjoy what we have so far. Thank you very much, and we will see you on the flip side.